Setting: a sleek, glass-walled conference room in a high-rise office. The company's top executives sit at the long table, while Elena and Nathan stand on opposite sides, presenting their competing pitches. The air is thick with rivalry. Elena Carter, with a confident smirk, clicking through her presentation slides. If we implement my strategy, we can increase company revenue by 30% in the next quarter. Unlike some riskier approaches, my plan focuses on sustainability and long-term growth. Pointed glance at Nathan. Nathan Reed, leaning back in his chair, arms crossed, with a slow, knowing smile. Riskier? I'd call it ambitious. But then again, I understand why you'd prefer to play it safe. Elena, eyes narrowing, voice steady but laced with challenge. Playing it smart isn't the same as playing it safe. Some of us prefer results over reckless gambles. Nathan chuckles, leaning forward, dropping his voice just enough for only her to hear. And some of us know that taking risks is what separates the winners from the ones still trying to prove themselves. A brief pause. The tension crackles between them. The executives murmur, considering both pitches. The CEO finally speaks. CEO clears throat, looking amused. Both of you make compelling arguments. In fact, your passion for this position is undeniable. A knowing glance between Elena and Nathan. So, here's the deal. You both will handle separate high-profile projects. The one who delivers the best results gets the job. Simple as that. Elena's jaw tightens. Nathan's smirk widens. The game has officially begun. Nathan, as they leave the room, walking side by side, voice teasing but laced with intent. Looks like we're stuck with each other a little longer, Carter. Try not to fall for me before the competition ends. Elena, deadpan, not even sparing him a glance. I'd rather quit first. Nathan, grinning, watching her walk away. Liar. The office, late at night. The overhead lights are dimmed, leaving only the glow from the city skyline and computer screens. Elena sits at her desk, deep in work, when she hears footsteps behind her. She already knows who it is before she looks up. Elena Carter. Without looking up, voice calm but edged with irritation. If you came to gloat, Nathan, save your breath. I'm busy. Nathan Reed, leaning casually against her desk, arms crossed, watching her with a smirk. Gloat?
No.
But if you need a reminder that I'm winning, I can provide statistics. He taps a file against her desk, his tone playful but calculated. Elena, finally looking up, meeting his gaze with a sharp glare. Winning? That's cute. Last I checked, I was still very much in this race. Nathan tilts his head, his smirk deepening. Oh, you are. And I have to admit, watching you fight for it is entertaining. His voice drops just slightly, the air between them thick with something unspoken. Elena refuses to react, but the way he's looking at her, like he enjoys every second of their competition, makes her pulse quicken. She leans back in her chair, crossing her arms, refusing to give him the upper hand. Elena, coolly, let me guess. You live for the thrill of the chase. Nathan, grinning, his fingers trailing along the edge of her desk absent-mindedly. Only when the prize is worth it. For a moment, silence. A charged pause. Elena feels the challenge in his gaze, but she refuses to back down. Elena, soft but firm, meeting his eyes head-on. Then you should know, this isn't a chase you can win. Nathan chuckles, stepping back, but his eyes linger on her. We'll see about that. He walks away, leaving Elena with her heart pounding, her fingers gripping the armrests of her chair. Damn him. He was not supposed to get under her skin like this. A few days later, at an exclusive company networking gala, everyone is dressed in formal attire, but the competition between Elena and Nathan hasn't cooled. If anything, the stakes feel higher. When the CEO calls for an impromptu partner exercise, fate, or bad luck, pairs them together. Nathan, adjusting his cufflinks, giving her a slow once-over. You clean up well, Carter. Almost didn't recognize you without the deadly glare. Elena, smiling sweetly, stepping closer, her voice dripping with sarcasm. And you're still talking. Some things never change. The exercise requires them to work together, forcing them into close proximity. At one point, Nathan leans in, his breath warm against her ear. Nathan, voice low, teasing. You're tense, Elena. Afraid of being close to me. Elena, unfazed, smirking as she turns her head slightly, lips almost brushing his cheek.
No.
I just don't like being near distractions. Nathan, a slow smile, his fingers barely grazing her waist as they move. Funny. I was thinking the same thing about you. The moment stretches between them, charged unspoken. It's no longer just about the job, it's about them. And neither of them is willing to admit they're already playing with fire. A quiet balcony at the company gala. The event is still in full swing inside, but out here, it's just them, Elena and Nathan. The city lights stretch endlessly beyond them, but the only thing either of them is focused on is each other. Elena had come out for air. Or, at least, that's what she told herself. But of course, Nathan had followed because he always did. Nathan Reed, leaning against the railing, arms crossed, voice smooth as ever. Running away, Carter? That's not like you. Elena Carter, rolling her eyes, arms tightening around herself. Not everything is about you, Reed. But the way her heart pounds in his presence says otherwise. Nathan chuckles, stepping closer, voice dipping lower. Liar. She turns to face him, ready to fire back, but the way he's looking at her, dark eyes sharp, gaze flickering between her lips and her eyes, makes the words catch in her throat. She's always been good at control. But Nathan? He's the one person who makes her forget how to hold on to it. Elena, quieter, guarded. You think you have me all figured out, don't you? Nathan, tilting his head, a lazy smirk tugging at his lips. I know you fight me so hard because you don't want to admit what's really going on between us. He steps closer, too close. The heat between them is suffocating. Elena's breath catches, but she refuses to back away. Elena, a challenge, her voice softer now. And what exactly do you think is going on, Reed? His fingers brush against her wrist, barely a touch, but enough to send a spark up her spine. Her pulse jumps, and he notices. Nathan, voice dropping to a murmur, eyes locked onto hers. You want me just as much as I want you. Asterisk, it's reckless. It's dangerous. But in that moment, neither of them cares. Before she can stop herself, before she can think, she grabs the front of his suit jacket and pulls him in. Their lips collide, a clash of heat, frustration, and something deeper neither of them dares to name. Nathan groans against her mouth, one hand sliding to her waist, the other tangling in her hair as he presses her against the railing. It's not soft. It's not careful. It's a war, a battle for control, a game where neither of them wants to lose. Elena bites his lower lip, just to make a point. Nathan chuckles against her mouth, gripping her waist tighter. Nathan, breathless, lips barely parting from hers. Is that all you've got? Elena smirks, pulling back slightly, voice teasing but shaky. Careful, Reed. Keep talking, and I might just walk away. Nathan, catching her wrist before she can move, eyes dark with amusement and something more dangerous. Too late for that, Carter. You started this. Now let's see if you can handle it. He kisses her again, deeper, slower this time. A challenge, a promise. And God help her, she kisses him back. Nathan's penthouse apartment. The night after the gala. Neither of them planned to end up here, but neither of them tried to stop it either. Elena should have walked away. She should have left things at that kiss on the balcony, chalked it up to a moment of weakness, a temporary lapse in judgment. But instead, she followed Nathan out of the gala, into his car, and now she's here, standing in the dimly lit living room, pulse racing. Elena Carter, arms crossed, pretending she isn't affected, even though her body tells a different story. This is a mistake. Nathan Reed, smirking as he shrugs off his jacket, tossing it onto the couch. Probably. He steps closer, watching her, testing how long she'll keep up the act. But we both know you're not leaving. She hates how right he is. Hates how he can read her so easily. But she's tired of pretending, tired of fighting something that has felt inevitable since the moment they met. He's standing right in front of her now, so close that she can feel the heat radiating from his body. She tilts her chin up, meeting his gaze head-on, refusing to let him think he's won. Elena, voice soft but steady. This doesn't change anything. Nathan, reaching out, brushing his fingers along her jaw, watching her shiver under his touch. Keep telling yourself that. Asterisk, and then he kisses her.
Hard. Deep.
Like he's wanted to do this for longer than he'd ever admit. Elena gasps against his mouth, but she doesn't hesitate. She pulls him in, fingers tangling in his hair as she presses herself against him. It's fast, desperate, a collision of two people who have spent too much time denying what was right in front of them. Nathan lifts her effortlessly, carrying her toward the bedroom without breaking the kiss. She doesn't stop him. She doesn't want to. Right now, she just wants this, him, them, whatever this is. The soft glow of early morning filters through the curtains. Elena stirs, feeling warmth behind her. Nathan's arm draped over her waist. It should feel foreign. It doesn't. For a brief moment, she lets herself enjoy it. The quiet. The way his fingers absent-mindedly trace circles on her skin. Nathan, sleepy, voice rough from the night before. Are you about to run? Elena, smirking, even though he can't see it. Tempting. But I do have a job to win. Nathan, chuckles, pulling her closer. And here I thought we could call a truce. Elena, turning to face him, eyes sharp. That's cute, Reed. But just because I gave in doesn't mean I gave up. Nathan grins, leaning in like he's about to kiss her again. Nathan, murmuring against her lips. Good. Because I like a challenge. And just like that, the game continues, only now the stakes are much, much higher. A few days after that night, Elena and Nathan have been keeping things strictly professional at work, or at least trying to. But the tension? Unbearable. And it only gets worse when Elena sees Nathan laughing with her biggest competitor, Madison Hayes. Elena isn't the jealous type, or so she tells herself. But watching Madison touch Nathan's arm, lean in just a little too close, her fingers tighten around her coffee cup, jaw clenching. Nathan notices. Of course he does. He smirks slightly, enjoying this way too much. And that only pisses her off more. Madison Hayes, laughing, lightly touching Nathan's arm. I don't know how you manage to stay so on top of everything. You're always one step ahead. Nathan Reed, casual, easy charm in his voice. What can I say? I like to win. Asterisk, Elena knows that tone. It's the same tone he uses when he's teasing her.
And
that's unacceptable. Elena Carter, stepping into their space, voice cool, expression unreadable. Funny, Nathan. I thought you preferred competition, not easy wins. Her gaze flickers to Madison, sharp, before turning back to him with a slow, knowing smirk. Madison frowns slightly, clearly catching the tension but not understanding why it's there. Nathan, on the other hand, he knows exactly what Elena is doing. And he loves it. Nathan, amused, raising an eyebrow. Something on your mind, Carter? Elena, tilting her head, voice smooth as silk. Not at all. Just wondering if you were getting distracted. Asterisk, Nathan's smirk falters, just slightly.
And
that's Elena's first win of the day. Nathan should have let it go. He should have left it at that moment in the office. But no, because if Elena's going to play dirty, so is he. So, at the after-work social event, Nathan makes sure she sees him, talking, smiling, with someone else. And not just anyone. Lucas Grant, the very charming exec who has always had a thing for Elena. Elena doesn't react at first, but Nathan knows her. He watches the way her fingers tighten around her glass, the way her jaw locks ever so slightly. And that's his second win of the day. And then Lucas leans in, whispering something in Elena's ear that makes her laugh. Nathan sees red. Nathan, suddenly right beside her, voice low, dangerous. Didn't know you liked playing games, Carter. Elena, smirking, turning to face him, enjoying this way too much. Oh, Nathan, I thought you liked competition. She throws his words back at him, eyes glittering with challenge. Nathan's grip on his glass tightens. He steps closer, voice dropping lower, just for her. Nathan, a slow, dangerous smirk. Careful. You're making me want to remind you who you belong to. Elena's breath catches. She hates how easily he gets to her, but she refuses to let him win that easily. Elena, leaning in, voice barely above a whisper. Prove it. And just like that, the tension snaps. Before she can say anything else, Nathan grabs her wrist, pulling her away from the crowd, into a secluded hallway. She barely has time to catch her breath before his lips are on hers, hard, demanding, full of all the jealousy and frustration he's been holding back. And damn it, she kisses him back just as fiercely. His hands grip her waist, pressing her against the wall. Her fingers tangle in his hair, pulling him impossibly closer. It's messy. It's reckless. And neither of them cares. When they finally break apart, both of them are breathing hard. But the fire in their eyes? Oh, that's still burning. Nathan, smirking, thumb brushing over her lips. Next time, don't test me, Carter. Elena, grinning, breathless, eyes dark with challenge. Oh, but where's the fun in that? Elena and Nathan thought they were being discreet. The stolen glances, the subtle touches, the way their arguments now carried a different kind of tension, they were careful. Or at least they thought they were. Until their boss, Richard Sterling, calls them both into his office. Sterling is not an easy man to read. Sharp, calculating, and known for playing mind games with his employees. So when he gestures for them to sit, fingers steepled together, both Elena and Nathan exchange a quick, wary glance. Richard Sterling, leaning back, watching them with amusement.
So,
who wants to explain why the two top candidates for this job are too busy making eyes at each other to focus? Elena's heart stops. Nathan tenses beside her, but his face remains infuriatingly unreadable. Elena Carter, quickly, smooth as ever. I have no idea what you mean, sir. Her voice is calm, steady. Too steady. Sterling, smirks, tapping his fingers on the desk.
right.
Because I definitely didn't see you two disappear at the last event. And I definitely haven't noticed the way you argue like you're 2 seconds from tearing each other's clothes off. Elena's jaw tightens. Nathan shifts slightly beside her, fighting a smirk. Nathan Reed, casual, smug. You're mistaken, sir. We have nothing but a healthy professional rivalry. Sterling, chuckling, eyes gleaming. Oh, I love this. You two really think you can fool me, don't you? He leans forward, elbows on his desk. Here's the thing. I don't care who's winning in your little game. I care about my company. So tell me, is this distraction going to affect your performance? Elena, quickly, firm. No, sir. Nathan, at the same time, smirking. Not unless you count extra motivation. Elena elbows him. Sterling just laughs. Sterling, shaking his head, clearly entertained. All right then, here's what we're going to do. Since you two are so confident that this little situation isn't affecting your work, let's put it to the test. Elena stiffens. Nathan narrows his eyes slightly. Sterling, grinning. You're both still up for the promotion, but I'm changing the final challenge. His smirk deepens. Consider it a little stress test. Oh, that cannot be good. Sterling doesn't tell them immediately what the challenge is, which makes things worse. The tension between them is unbearable. And of course, he takes every opportunity to poke at them. Moments of torture. During meetings. Reed, Carter, why don't you two work closer together on this one? Shouldn't be too hard. After all, you seem to enjoy working in close quarters. Public jabs. If you two spent as much time focusing on winning as you do flirting, we have a decision by now. Casual observations. Carter, is that a love bite? Oh, no, just a shadow. My mistake. It was a shadow. But the way Elena's face burns? She's never forgiving Sterling for that one. Nathan? He's having way too much fun with this. Nathan Reed, leaning close, whispering as they leave another torturous meeting. You love this, don't you? Elena Carter, glaring, voice low and sharp. You are one comment away from me throwing you out a window. Nathan, smirking, infuriatingly calm. Knew you liked it rough. Elena? She's going to kill him. Right after she kisses him again. The entire office is gathered for the big reveal. Richard Sterling, looking way too pleased with himself, stands at the front of the room while Elena and Nathan exchange wary glances. They already know whatever's coming won't be good. At least, not for them. Sterling clears his throat, a smirk tugging at his lips as he paces slowly. Sterling, loud enough for everyone to hear. As you all know, we've been looking for the best candidate for the executive position. After weeks of competition, it's come down to two. His gaze flicks between Elena and Nathan, amusement dancing in his eyes. Two highly skilled, highly competitive, and, let's say, highly invested employees. A few chuckles ripple through the crowd. Elena's fingers twitch at her sides. Nathan, standing too damn close, just smirks like he's enjoying this. Sterling, pausing for dramatic effect. So, here's the deal. You both want the job? You're going to have to share it temporarily. Asterisk silence. Then, Elena blinks. Wait, what? Elena Carter, frowning, arms crossing. Share? As in? Sterling, grinning. As in, you'll be working together as co-heads of the same department for the next 3 weeks. A trial run. If one of you proves to be the clear winner by the end, the job is yours. But if you fail, neither of you gets it. The office erupts. Random employee number 1. Oh, this is going to be good. Random employee number 2. Place your bets now. How long before they kill each other? Elena feels her stomach drop. Work with Nathan? On the same level? For 3 weeks? This is Sterling's way of pushing them to the edge, forcing them to either sink or snap. And knowing Nathan? He'll make this as difficult as possible. Next to her, Nathan chuckles, low and amused. Nathan Reed, leaning in, voice just for her. Admit it, Carter. You love being this close to me. Elena, deadpan, unamused. I'm this close to strangling you. Sterling, grinning wider, watching them with far too much amusement. Oh, and one more thing. You'll be sharing the same office. No separate workspaces. 1 desk, 2 chairs. Hope you two don't mind close quarters. And that is the moment Elena realizes Sterling isn't testing their leadership skills. He's testing their self-control. The next morning, their new office is sleek, modern, and way too small. 1 desk, 2 chairs, a single filing cabinet, and worst of all, only 1 coffee machine. Because, of course. Nathan is already there when Elena arrives. He's kicked back in her chair, legs up on her side of the desk, sipping her favorite coffee blend. She stops in the doorway, crossing her arms, eyes narrowing. Elena Carter, flat, unimpressed. You're in my chair. Nathan Reed, glancing up, smirking. Our chair, sweetheart. Sharing, remember? He pats the seat beside him, like he actually expects her to sit there. Oh, he's enjoying this way too much. Elena exhales slowly, schooling her expression. She can handle this. It's just 3 weeks. Just Nathan. Just. Nathan suddenly stretches, his shirt lifting just slightly to reveal a sliver of his toned stomach. Elena hates that she notices. She hates that he knows she notices. And she hates that he's smirking again. Asterisk 3 weeks? Oh, she's doomed. It's past office hours. The building is silent except for the distant hum of the city outside. Elena and Nathan are still stuck in the same damn office, going over reports for their final presentation. The air is thick, heavy, not just with exhaustion but with something else. Nathan leans against the desk, his tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. He looks far too relaxed for someone who's supposed to be working. Elena sits across from him, her blazer discarded, hair slightly undone from running her hands through it in frustration. She refuses to acknowledge the way his eyes keep flickering to her exposed collarbone. Elena Carter sighs, rubbing her temples. We're never going to finish this if you don't focus, Reed. Nathan Reed, smirking, voice low. Oh, I'm focused, sweetheart. Just not on the reports. Elena's breath catches. She knows that look. It's the same one he's been giving her all week. Dark, heated, full of something dangerous. And worse, she wants it, but she refuses to let him win. Elena, rolling her eyes, forcing a smirk. You're really not as charming as you think you are. Nathan, slowly stepping closer, his voice dropping to a near whisper. And yet, your pulse just jumped. Her heart to stutter, but she keeps her expression neutral.
Barely.
Nathan notices anyway. Elena, scoffing, deflecting. In your dreams, Reed. Nathan, grinning, leaning down so his lips hover near her ear. Every night, sweetheart. That's it. That's the breaking point. Elena moves before she can think, grabbing his tie, yanking him down, and crushing her lips against his. It's hard, desperate, weeks of tension snapping all at once. Nathan groans into the kiss, his hands immediately gripping her waist, pulling her against him like he's been waiting for this just as badly. The desk digs into her back, but she doesn't care. His hands are everywhere, her waist, her back, sliding beneath the hem of her blouse, fingers teasing against bare skin. She shivers. He grins against her mouth, like he loves that he got a reaction out of her. Nathan, murmuring against her lips, teasing. Told you you'd give in first. Elena nips his bottom lip in retaliation, making him groan. Elena, smirking breathlessly. Shut up, Reed. He does, by kissing her even deeper. The sun is barely up when Elena walks into the office, her heels clicking against the floor a little too sharply. Her shoulders are squared, her expression cool. Her mind? A wreck. She can still feel him. The press of his lips, the heat of his hands on her skin, the way he groaned when she bit his lip, the way she almost let herself lose control completely. But it meant nothing. It was a mistake.
Just heat, just stress.
That's all. She keeps repeating it in her head as she rounds the corner, only to freeze when she sees him.
Nathan.
Already there, already working, already looking infuriatingly calm. His tie is properly knotted today. His sleeves are buttoned. His posture is relaxed, eyes flicking up to meet hers with zero emotion. Like last night didn't happen at all. Nathan Reed. Flat, businesslike. Morning, Carter.
Oh.
So that's how they're playing it? Fine. Elena Carter. Equally cool. Morning, Reed. She walks past him, sits down, and pulls up her reports. No hesitation, no lingering glances, no tension. She can do this. She's professional. She's in control. Then he shifts slightly in his chair, and for one split second, her brain supplies a very unprofessional flash of last night, his hands on her thighs, the heat between them.
Nope. Not thinking about it.
Not happening. She shoves it down. Bury it. Forget it. Move on. The next few days are awkward. The once playful, teasing banter?
Gone.
The stolen glances? Avoided. The suffocating tension? Still there. But now it's like a storm waiting to explode. They work side by side, but every movement is too precise. Every conversation is clipped, professional, cold. Meetings? They barely acknowledge each other, speaking through other colleagues instead. Emails?
Short.
To the point. No extra words. Accidental touches? Immediately pulled away from like they burned. The rest of the office notices. Random employee number 1. Whispering to a coworker. Did they break up? I mean, they were never together. But... Random employee number 2. Snorting. No way. Look at them. That's not over. That's denial. And denial is exactly what it is. Late night. Alone in the office again. The same place, the same circumstances, except now, they're both forcing themselves to focus on work. Nathan stands at the desk, reviewing a file. Elena sits across from him, typing. They haven't spoken in an hour. The silence is deafening. Then, he exhales sharply. The first real sign of frustration. Nathan Reed, muttering, rubbing his jaw. This is ridiculous. Elena stiffens, keeping her eyes locked on her screen. Elena Carter. Cool, not looking up. What is? Nathan, finally looking at her, voice low, sharp.
This. Us.
Pretending nothing happened. Her fingers freeze on the keyboard. Her pulse jumps, but she forces herself to stay calm. Elena, lifting a brow, finally meeting his gaze. Nothing did happen, Reed. We got caught up in the moment. It was a mistake. We moved on. She says it so smoothly, so convincingly, that she almost believes it herself. Almost. Nathan watches her for a long moment. Then he nods. A muscle ticks in his jaw, but he nods. Nathan, quietly, eyes unreadable.
Right.
A mistake. And just like that, they go back to work. Ignoring the tension. Ignoring the fact that they both know they're lying. 3 weeks. That's how long they've been forcing professionalism. 3 weeks of clipped conversations, careful avoidance, and pretending that night never happened. 3 weeks of keeping their hands to themselves, their gazes locked on their work instead of each other. And now, it's the final day. Elena and Nathan stand before the entire board, giving their last presentation. Their last chance to prove themselves. The tension in the room is thick, but they're focused, professional, untouchable. Or so they think, until Sterling, that smug bastard, throws in a last-minute curveball. Sterling, smirking as he leans back in his chair. Excellent work. Now, before we make our decision, let's see how well you two really work together. Elena and Nathan exchange a look. What? Sterling, lazily waving a hand. Surprise scenario. Right here, right now. You two solve it together. Think on your feet, communicate, delegate. Show us how you function as a team. Oh, he's evil. He knows they've been avoiding each other like the plague. And now, he's forcing them into a pressure cooker, watching to see if they crack. And crack, they do. They try. They really do. But within 5 minutes, the tension finally boils over. Elena Carter, frustrated, voice tight. That's not the best approach, Reed. Nathan Reed, equally tense, arms crossed. And yours is? You're overcomplicating it, Carter. Elena, scoffing, jaw clenched. I'm being efficient. Nathan, dryly. Oh, is that what we're calling it? The rest of the board watches in silent amusement. They think this is just workplace competitiveness. They have no idea it's so much worse than that. And then, Sterling pushes them over the edge. Sterling, chuckling far too entertained. You two should just kiss and get it over with. Silence. Absolute, deafening silence. Nathan stiffens. Elena's stomach plummets. And, before she can stop herself, she snaps. Elena, sharp, exasperated. We did, and it was a mistake. Asterisk, oh.
Oh.
The room goes dead silent. Sterling's smirk widens. Nathan? He turns slowly to face her, eyes dark, jaw tight. And now she's done it. She expects him to argue, to make a snide remark, to smirk, but he doesn't. Instead, he just watches her. And that's so much worse. The meeting ends. The board leaves. The decision will be announced tomorrow. But Elena and Nathan? They're not done. Not even close. The second the conference room empties, Nathan moves, grabs her wrist, pulls her inside an empty office, and locks the door behind them. Nathan Reed. Low, dangerous. A mistake. Elena swallows hard, but lifts her chin. Elena Carter. Firm, but quieter now.
Yes.
We agreed, didn't we? It meant nothing. We moved on. Nathan stares at her. A beat. Then he laughs. A quiet, disbelieving laugh. Nathan, shaking his head, stepping closer. That's bullshit, Carter. And you know it. She presses back against the desk. He follows.
Close.
Too close. Nathan, voice rough. Tell me.
Right now.
Look me in the eye and tell me it meant nothing. Her breath catches. She opens her mouth. To lie. To say the words. To end this once and for all. Asterisk, but she can't. Because it wasn't nothing. And it never was. And Nathan? He sees it. Nathan. Soft, but relentless. That's what I thought. And then he kisses her.
Hard. Desperate.
Weeks of restraint shattering at once. And this time, Elena doesn't fight it. Doesn't want to fight it. Her hands fist in his shirt. His arms cage her in. The desk digs into her back, but she doesn't care. All she cares about is him. By the time they pull away, breathless, it's over. The pretense, the avoidance, the denial. Elena Carter, whispering, forehead against his. We're screwed, aren't we? Nathan Reed, smirking, brushing a thumb over her cheek. Completely. Sterling promotes both of them, because, apparently, he lives for chaos. They keep things quiet for a while, but the office knows, because Nathan is terrible at hiding the way he looks at her now. And Elena? She stops trying to pretend she doesn't like it. It started as competition, turned into a challenge, became a game, but in the end, they both lost, and neither of them mind at all.
Fire the end. Fire.
Thanks for watching. For more stories, please subscribe Eververse Novel.